Country singer Gretchen Wilson is the original Redneck Woman. She's topped Billboard charts, won awards, and captured many a fan. Now, given all the success, her latest effort is a bit unusual, albeit very honorable.
I'm a redneck woman, I ain't no high-class broad.
Gretchen Wilson.
How are you?
Thanks for talking to us.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, this has been a pretty exciting time in your life.
Yeah.
First off, you leave your former label and you start your own record company.
Yeah. I mean, it was just it was the obvious thing for me to do. It was the obvious next move. I've been working on this project for a little while, and I was lucky enough to have been working with a record label who, kind of saw things the same way I did. We were kind of at a standing still point, and we had a good enough relationship that we were able to shake hands and say, look, we've done everything we can do, and so good luck to you and good luck to you. And so for me, walking out of there thinking, I've got this project that I really believe in, it was just, for me, it was the obvious thing to do, to call my attorney and just go, bring on the paperwork. Let's see how hard this is and see if we can do this thing.
That's really interesting you say that, though, because it's not just, creating a record company is not just about being a performer, an artist. It's more business than anything else. So you've got to have a business savvy. Where's that come from for you?
Well, I would have to say that I've just learned a lot in the last, few years being around all of it. Even though it was a giant company and all these companies are so big, I still, I paid attention. I kept my eyes open, my ears open, and seeing what things work, what things don't work, and so, I feel like I've got a pretty good head on my shoulders when it comes to that. I went back and got my GED last year.
I was just going to ask you about that.
That might help a little bit when, when we get down the road a little bit, but, I get up every day and I'm finding something else that I can do now that my hands were tied on before, and
it's almost a rebirth in a way.
It really is. It's like I'm starting fresh. It's like the original Redneck Woman is back,
Well, listen, you mentioned that, that at about 34, you got your GED.
Yes.
And now you're helping other people get theirs as well?
Well, along the road, and getting my GED, mind you, was just something that I'd always wanted to do for myself. And then, with my little girl in school, I wanted to do it for her. But I really didn't have any idea that it was going to turn into this and that it was going to affect so many people. But along the way, I just started hearing, all these numbers, about Americans and where we're at, as far as literacy and how many adults in this country can't read and can't even read well enough to go get their prescription filled and take their medicine correctly. They can't even read that well, and we're always on this big kick about no child left behind and educating our children and everything. What we have to see is, no child is going to take education seriously if their parents don't.
That's true.
Everything starts with the parents, and I'm a firm believer in that. And I feel like we have to pay a lot more attention to the adults in this country, and it'll make a difference along the way. Plus fiscally, and that's why I went to Washington to discuss it, is because I found out it costs less than $300 to educate an adult, and it's a guarantee that $300 investment will bring back the tax money on $50,000 within a few years.
But one other person that stood up for you when you were getting your GED, Charlie Daniels.
Absolutely.
We spoke to him. We were watching him get his star on the Music City Walk of Fame the other day. Were you there?
No, I wasn't. But
How
he lives
exciting.
close. I moved out on the east side of Nashville. I think Charlie and I and maybe Aaron Tippin might be the only people that moved out that way. We're out in the boonies out there.
And you guys are pretty close.
Yeah, we are just a few miles away from each other, but Charlie he and his wife Hazel have been just like family to me ever since I came. And Charlie is like the closest thing to a dad that I've had, in this industry. And for him to stand there at my graduation and actually hand me that piece of paper and to speak at my graduation like that, he affected a lot of people in that room. But I am sure, and I'll bet a Charlie Daniels Gretchen Wilson project is probably going to happen.
We will be looking forward to it then.
I can't see how it wouldn't.
Oh, Gretchen Wilson, it has been a pleasure to talk to you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
We look forward to everything you're doing and
Appreciate
seeing
it.
a lot more of it.
Yeah, be looking for the new record. It's going to come out next quarter.
Yes, exactly. Tell us
quarter.
tell us the name of it.
It's called I Got Your Country Right Here. That's the name of the album, and it's coming out first quarter next year, but the single, Work Hard, Play Harder, is out right now. You can get it on iTunes. Thank you.
She is such an interesting woman. Wow. And she has great stories to tell. And if you want to hear some of those stories yourself, well, go to daytimeonline.tv for a list of her tour dates. Now, just ahead on Daytime, eat your way to happiness. There's a healthy way to do it. We'll get the full scoop next.